Hello, welcome to Grapple Games TV. Today we've got our Sunday afternoon Magic tournament, and this is Josh Fozzard, and with me I have
Derek Billadeau.
And Derek was the player who is playing here versus Shannon. So we've got him doing commentary with us just to get his perspective.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it.
So it looks like today we had two white decks make it to table one.
It's actually two White Weenie X. I was playing the standard Boros White Weenie, and I honestly still don't know what she was playing exactly.
Was it straight mono white or?
It was straight mono white. She had some of the same cards I did. You'll see some of the same creatures and stuff come out, but she had a bunch of trickery that I wasn't ready for.
All right, so Shannon leads off with the Judge's Familiar.
Soldier of Pantheon. Like the Judge's Familiar, I wasn't expecting to see that at all, and it actually stumped me.
She follows up with her own soldier.
Shocking and then Pain Lands.
Shocking it in for the Precinct Captain, a great card.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite cards in the deck.
And is that Imposing Sovereign?
That is, and that thing gets quite annoying, especially when I'm going for battalion triggers and she's laid the Imposing Sovereign. It got quite annoying on me. I did arrest it. I didn't want to give her the chance of killing the Soldier of Pantheon, so I figured I'd just swing with a 2/2 first strike. Got my soldier token. She was actually nice enough to loan me soldier tokens, and I actually want to get some more of these because I like the way they look.
Oh yeah, those are the ones that she special ordered.
Yeah. And here she's hitting me with the bird.
Yeah, that familiar definitely will have an impact flying over all of your soldiers, everybody on the ground.
Let's see, we're going.
Looks like you had kept a Boris Charm on top.
Yep.
Frontline Medic comes in tapped.
Again, just swinging with the first striker right now. She could have took the opportunity to
block
it, I guess. But at that point, I wasn't worried about that because I had the soldier, I had the battalion trigger already going. To be fair to her, though, I did notice she is stuck on 2 lands.
Which sometimes isn't quite a big problem with these decks.
With White Weenie, you would think not, no. Like, my deck needs the red mana, but hers was straight white, so I'm assuming she would have been okay. She went to a third one here.
Oh, she plays the Banisher Priest.
Main deck Banisher Priest kind of threw me for a loop.
She's going to take out your Precinct Captain?
Yeah,
probably the smart choice.
I think if I would have did it, I would have did it a little differently. I would have took the
medic?
Frontline Medic, because then my creatures wouldn't have had the battalion trigger. But, I mean, either one's okay. Either one's pretty bad. And then she's getting aggressive with me here, which I'm really confused about. I would think she would sit back and be on the defensive.
Now the Imposing Sovereign has a 2/1 body?
Yeah. Actually, I think it is, so I guess that wouldn't have worked. She couldn't have gang blocked it. I was thinking it was 1/2.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised you didn't block it with one of your soldier tokens or something.
I figured, I knew I was going to
had the shield.
I was going to drop the spear, and I was going lethal at this point.
Yep, she has just the Banisher Priest to block with, which then you get your soldier back, Precinct Captain. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 swinging in.
Yeah, I think that was lethal, if I'm not mistaken.
As well as everything's indestructible.
Declaring all my triggers, yeah. I was kind of actually, she was like, I'm going to block the token, and I said, no, you don't want to block the token. You actually should block the frontline medic, because that's 4 damage compared to the 2.
Yep. And as we both know, she's already dead with the Boros Charm in hand. Yeah, it's such a great deck.
Yeah, this is actually one of the most fun decks I've played for a while. I'm really happy with it, with the meta and the way it is right now.
Yeah, as long as you can, race them down the board and you have the charm, whack them on the head for 4.
Now here I'm basically asking her, are we going to game 2? And she starts swinging on me again, and I'm confused, counting up the damage, and I'm like, okay, well, this isn't lethal, so what could she have? And in my eyes, I made a little mistake here. I don't know if everybody else will think it is or not, but I got too aggressive. She's only got 3 life. She's got nothing to block, and for some reason I decided to swing with everything.
She's got 3 untapped mana.
Right. And I don't know what she could have at this point, and then I remembered that she could have the card that she obviously does, but I didn't need to swing with everything, although it doesn't really matter.
And Shannon responds by playing Riot Control. Prevents all damage and gains 1 life for each creature.
Yeah, and in response I just Boros Charmer, and that was pretty much game 1.
Yeah, so before Riot Control resolves, Boros Charm for the win. Looks like you were pretty excited about that.
I was pretty happy about it. I ain't gonna lie. It was one of those things because I thought I had screwed up, and then I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute, I can respond to that. And at that point, yeah, I knew I had the game, so I was okay with that. But I still, in my eyes, I think I got a little too cocky and shouldn't have did. Shouldn't have attacked with everything, I guess. It didn't need to happen.
If you didn't have the Boros Charm, then
yeah, if I didn't have that Boros Charm, then it was lethal on my side. That's why I consider it a play mistake. I should have just attacked with 3. Even if she casted the card that she did, she still wouldn't have been able to swing back at me with lethal. And in case if I didn't have that Boros Charm, yeah, I lost that game.
So well, it's good that you didn't cast the Boros Charm first, and then
right.
She would just been up tons of life.
So then I feel pretty good going into game 2 because I'm actually boarding in I believe it was 9 or 12 cards against her.
Since she's running white, what do you have? Glare of Heresy, Banisher Priest?
Heresy, I had Banisher Priest, and I was running Electrickery.
Oh, nice.
Sideboard. So I also boarded that in.
Yeah, that's a great card to go against other aggressive strategies.
Mm-hmm. I think Electrickery actually comes into play, too.
When most of her deck has 1 toughness, that will just be devastating.
Yep. And asking her afterwards, I believe she was not running Brave the Elements at all in her deck, which I kept trying to play around.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me she didn't put it in. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best cards for
I
white
think
decks.
So. In my eyes, any white deck needs to run Brave the Elements. It's just such a beating. I've won so many games because of it.
Yeah, either protecting them from removal or just swinging in with the team. I mean,
Right.
it's versatile in what it can do, and it really comes through.
Yeah, it's basically the Boros Charm is in there too, not only to go to the dome, but it's also to make all your creatures indestructible. It's very good against bigger aggro decks.
I was really hoping to get you so that one of us would have bragging rights on YouTube. Like you remember that time?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it was 9.
I would go online for it. I just saved every time a bad player jumps.
So you added, do you remember what you added?
Yeah, I put in the Glare Heresies. It was 3 Glare Heresies, 3 Banisher Priest, and 2 Electrickery. And I actually had some other stuff that I could have boarded in. I had the Warrior's Helix that I was going to put in game 3 if I needed to. I also run Act of Treason, which is just kind of funny, and sometimes I board that in against bigger creature decks. But it's also good to just take their creature and beat them upside the head with it.
She casted Riot Control. I'm like, uh-oh.
I remember I took out a lot of 1-drops against her in order to put this stuff in, so I wasn't looking to be as fast. I was looking to stabilize. I think I took out 2 of my, let's see.
The Dryad Militants?
Yeah,
or?
I took 2 Dryad Militants out. I took 2 Arresters out, and 1 Frontline Medic, and 1 of the Boros guys. An interesting note is Via deck also is running the 2 main Boros Reckoners in the main deck, which you didn't see in Game 1. I feel personally that Boros Reckoner is just it's an amazing card against any kind of mirror match or anything like that, so I'll main deck 2 of them and possibly put the other 2 in from the side if I have to.
Yeah, it definitely makes it hard for the other aggro deck to swing into, knowing that either it's going to go straight back to their face or take out some of their creatures.
I found it really good like against Blue-Red Devotion, or I'm sorry, not Blue-Red, Green-Red Devotion, or Mono-Blue even. You know, if they're going to swing with a god, they're going to take it back in the face, and that's a big deal to them, so they usually won't do it one way or another. But it does come out against like Esper and stuff like that, the control decks.
Where you just want to be as fast as possible.
Right. Yep, where you board in stuff like Burning Earth and different things like that.
Yeah, Burning Earth against any type of control deck's really painful until they just de-spirit.
Yeah, actually that's what got me into this game. Match 3, I played against Red, White, Blue Control, but he did not have any way to deal with Burning Earth. I dropped at 4th turn, and he pretty much just cowered to it. He couldn't do anything.
Don't want to bump it? Not for that much.
I do keep telling her though I like her backs. She's custom ordered all these backs with kittens on them and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the grumpy cats.
Yep.
Hard to keep a smile off your face when you're facing that that across the battlefield.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, you know, I'm supposed to take this seriously, and you've got a grumpy cat sitting there against me. It's kind of hard to deal with. It's like, okay. And again, she's on the play. So I was kind of worried about this because I lost both rolls. So.
And turn 1, Judge is familiar.
Another one.
Scrying, liking what you see.
I believe it was a 1-drop if I remember correctly, which seems to be the apparent thing with my deck. If I don't have a 1-drop in my hand, I'll scry into the first 1-drop and be behind a turn, but you know, it fixed itself up, so it's okay.
Yep, we're good with this.
Go ahead. Yep. I had an answer for, did not have an answer for, missing that 1 land drop.
All right, Precinct Captain. Definitely a strong turn 2 play. So if she doesn't block that, then you'll be building up your little army.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what she's going to cast. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Opposing Sovereign.
Which, after seeing the power of that card, I may actually start main decking that card because it's really good. I know there's quite a few deck lists out there with Imposing Sovereign in the main.
Frontline Medic. Oh,
Yeah, frontline medic, just swinging with the precinct captain. But
Okay,
I
comes in
tapped
tapped.
it. Yeah. Which again was very annoying because now she could swing back at me and
Get your soldier.
I feel like she should have been a little more aggressive than she was. It just seems like, and I think she gets stuck on 2 land again too.
So next turn you'll be able to swing in with without a problem having. Oh,
Well, see, this pacifism now, I understand why she did that to try to stop my creatures, but I don't think she remembered that I had, because I didn't cast it first game, I don't think she remembered that I had Brave the Elements.
right.
Because as soon as I Brave the Elements, the pacifism's going
Pops
to
right
fall
off.
off. And that's exactly what ends up happening, is that I cast Brave the Elements, pacifism falls off, and then I swing with the team.
Boris Elite, another great card. There you go. Brave the Elements, pops off pacifism,
And
protection from white.
Yep. And that Boros Elite should actually be tapped.
Oh, yeah.
But she hasn't caught that yet, and I didn't either.
We're counting backwards. I'm going that way. You're going that way.
Maybe 12?
Makes it very unprofitable for her to block at this point since you guys are all indestructible.
Right. And that's pretty much where the game goes downhill. Not only is she stuck still on 2 land, but the fact that I've got the indestructible battalion going on is just brutal to her. There's nothing she can really do about it. I'm going to swing every turn no matter what. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident about this game at this point because my board's filling up. She's doing nothing.
First game I'm going to do guard bowling because I want to square one.
Now this,
What does she have there?
I still don't know. She wanted to. She
Is that Last Breath or?
no. She basically, it's a card from Theros, I believe, that gives protection of a color.
Oh, God's Willing.
God's Willing, yeah. And it basically allowed her to scry, but what I don't understand, and I told her this after the game, is why she did that on her turn. It's an instant, she could do it any time, and you'll see what happens the next turn. When I cast my card, she could have been able to stop this from happening. So I'm going to lay my land, and I'm going to tap 3. As soon as I get around to it. There we go. I'm going to tap 3 and I'm going to cash Banister Priest and get her Imposing Sovereign, and that would have stopped that from happening. And
Okay.
she still would have had the Scry trigger at that point.
Giving it protection from white.
So she would have been able to at least block something, but
Right. Yeah. Might have kept it different starting again, all that.
and then Soldier Token.
Yep, you've definitely got a small army of those going.
Yeah, at this point, I think the game is pretty much done. I don't know of anything else she can do. We're actually talking about what she wants to banish at this point. I told her she should banish my Banisher Priest because then she'll get her creature back at that point. And she said, yeah, that's probably the best play. But even then, it was too little too late at that point. I'm showing her that I have the Brave the Elements in my hand.
Way to swing in for game.
Yeah, she can't do anything about it.
All right. Fast 2 games.
Yeah.
That's the way the decks are meant to
That's what Weenie
meant to run.
does. It's quick and very painful.
Well, congratulations on your win.
Well, thank you very much.
Appreciate you taking the time to comment.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching. Once again, this is Grapple Games TV. You can find us on Facebook, as well as our website, grapplegames.com. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.